Good morning. Happy Monday. We're right back in the saddle. It feels good. I'm having my yogurt. I got my tea steeping. I'm ready for the day, kind of. I'm still feeling a little under the weather, but nothing debilitating. So I'm delighted to be with y'all. Uh, Welcome back, Harry. Harry was sunning. I saw Harry out on the beach. He was chilling. Harry, you was cute in out there on Myrtle Beach. It looked sunny. Karen looked sun kissed. She's like a goddess. She was all brown. I was like, look at them getting their sun in. I sure wish I could go on a beach vacation. I'm having my yogurt, my dairy-free yogurt, plant-based coconut blend. It's got 10 grams of protein, 7 grams of sugar. It's strawberry. It's good. It's a little sweeter than I would particularly like, but it was good. It's good. I threw some walnuts in for good measure. I've got some pomegranate in the fridge. I could have thrown them in too, but I didn't want to mix the pomegranate and the strawberry. So there's no artificial color flavorings, no added colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives, and no stevia. I don't know how people like artificial sweeteners. They are just ridiculously. I would just rather use real sugar. So anyway, and then and then I've got some really good hibiscus tea steeping. So it's Monday. I have a guest at 10:15. So I have Ifama Wokeya coming on, and she is an expert in wellness, and she's coming on to talk about wellness. She's got a series of uh, a commitment of time to work on your fitness and wellness goals. So she's going to come on and talk about those things. So Ifama Wokeya, she is coming on. I'm delighted to have her as a guest. She's got a lifestyle. Let's see, a lifestyle medicine is her business, and she is going to get us all whipped into good health. So I'm going to register for the for this. I think I could fit this into my life. I think it's like 8 weeks. I think it's a free 8 week session lifestyle medicine program designed to empower you uh, with the tools, knowledge, and support you need. So, and she was on the porch last summer, and we talked about this. So, um, and the fact that she's offering it for free is just incredible, because these kinds of things ain't cheap. So I'm happy that I could participate. I'm gonna do my best. So she'll talk more about it. You'll get more info as when she comes on. But she has a space at the lab over at Concord. So she's right in my neighborhood, really. And um it's nice to have accountability. So eight weeks, you can do anything for 8 weeks. Tuesdays, 5:30 to 7. So we'll see how this goes. It starts April 22nd, runs through June 10th. But she'll talk more about it. And I'll get a sense of like how does she come to this work. So tune in. And the flyer is up on the social media sites. Uh, so I'll just we'll talk when she comes on, and you can get more. I can get more into detail. Wow. Here we are. So, so it's Monday. What did I do this weekend? Uh, let me see. What did I do? I could tell you. I have to always go back to my calendar. My weekend starts on Thursday. So I had my violin lessons on Thursday, which was nice. I don't know when we're doing it again this week. I think maybe I might get some practice in today. Friday, I had a wonderful conversation with Raven Chacon, who is here at the Schwartzman Center, indigenous musician, composer, artist. So that was wonderful. But that was just Friday on the show. Friday evening, I don't think I did anything. I think I popped by Possible Futures on Friday. We had tequila. Saturday, I didn't do anything Saturday. This was a weekend that I didn't do much, which is rare. Now somebody else say, "Oh no, we were at this, that, and the other thing." So Ife must not be listening this morning because she would fill me in. But I didn't see Ife all weekend either. I saw her yesterday. We went to Cannon for like a late brunch. And that was nice. So we went to Cannon for a late brunch. And we caught up with Charmaine for a little bit on Sunday. Yeah, that's it. And now here I am, back at it. So Monday. So yeah, so I'm feeling a little hopeful. I got on my my Law and Racial Justice Center Yale Law School sweatshirt. See, and you could see access to law school. I've been wearing this thing a lot. It's very soft and comfy. Want to be a lawyer? Ask me how. And I could actually answer that question. If you ask me, I could tell you. I could absolutely tell you. So anyway, I'm trying to decide if I want to go to the gym today. I know I should. I know I should absolutely go to the gym. So it's kind of cloudy and overcast out today. It's about 40 degrees. I think it's raining. I think it's colder than we all want it to be. It's going to stop raining in about an hour, and then it's going to rain some more. Oh, this is a rainy day for sure. I might not make it to the gym today. I might have to let Robert know. So yeah, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I get so comfortable being on air that I forget that I'm on air. So I just go about my business. Listen, I am very heartened by all the protests that took place this weekend. I really am. And I'm so happy. These white folks is in these streets protesting all over the country all at once. People were really in these streets. And that makes me very hopeful. I don't know about you, but it makes me very hopeful because that means people are, it's like, it's like any it's like any Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars kind of movie. People got to rise up and resist. People got to resist. And it can't be on the backs of Black women. It cannot be on the backs of Black women. These white folks got out this weekend and they were in these streets from New York to DC to Seattle, all in between, Philadelphia, Arizona. People were in these streets. And white folks was like, Black women, we understand the assignment. Y'all stay home. We got this. This is on us. I swear to God, white people all over the place taking to social media, telling Black women, we sorry, we should have listened to you. And we're gonna do this work. We're gonna get in these streets. You all stay home. Don't you worry about it. This is on us. White folks saying this all over the place this weekend because they understood the assignment and they are about it. And I don't see any let up in sight. I don't see any let up. These white folks is marching. You start messing with people's Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare, and wait, and then the well-to-doers, but who are not quite rich, you see your 401k drop by the minute. Oh, you getting in these streets. Those folks who ain't never protested a day in their life, they was in these streets. You like, hands off my 401k. I love it. Listen, I'm not questioning nobody's motivation. As long as the end game is we have to defeat tyranny and fascism, I'm here for it. I don't care what your motivation is. You know? I am not concerned about people's motivation about nothing because there's no right way to be motivated about nothing. So high five white people in these streets. And I see the Latinos is coming along up the rear. I know they're starting to feel the pressure of, well, maybe we shouldn't have voted for that guy. Because I told y'all, because they locking y'all up. They locking up your sisters and brothers and cousins and uncles and abuelas. They snatching them off the street. I just got word in New York somewhere, upstate New York, the ICE people bust up into school with warrants for 3 children. The hell are you locking up kids? You know what? And this is modern day slave catching. And miss me with this, we have to rid ourselves of illegal whatever. Then if that's the case, then the indigenous nations ought to rise up and put all y'all asses out. All of us, not Black people. We came here unwittingly and against our will. But the rest of y'all from Europe, Eastern Europe, the UK, wherever, get the hell up out of here then. Okay. How do I start my Monday? I don't want to start my Monday like that. So anyway, I'm getting it together. I'm not angry, but I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not insurrectionist angry. That's misdirected and misguided. I'm not that. I'm not misdirected or misguided angry. I'm not an insurrectionist. What I am is angry enough to write the letters, to make the calls, and to use this platform to speak my piece. I'm that kind of angry. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. So I just want to be clear about that. And all these protests happen without incident all across the country. See, you can protest and not try to overrun the Capitol. Imagine. Imagine that. Imagine. So I'm good. So I did watch some good stuff on TV. I finished the season of the third season of The Bear. I really like that show. It's so anxiety driven. And it's so quirky and snappy. I like it. I can't wait till season 4. I can't. And I know people wasn't feeling season 3 too much. I thought it was well done because, the first 2 seasons was such a ride. I think you needed to like quell a little bit, like, like bring us up to speed, tie up some loose ends. So I like that. Give us some backstory on stuff. And so I appreciated season 3. So I finished it. I'm done. I watched How to Die Alone on Hulu. I hated that show. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. It just, for me, I don't like this. And, this is a Black woman. She's in her 30s, mid 30s. I just don't like that kind of whining and carrying on. Like you have no power over your life, and I just couldn't stand it. And then I stopped watching, and I was like, then I saw I was only 8 episodes, and I was like 4 episodes in or 6 episodes in. So I was like, what? Let me knock out. I did not find it uplifting or hopeful or any of that. I found it to be a sad, dull, uninteresting, toxic show. I was like, what? I did not feel inspired or uplifted, and I wasn't cheering for her. I just wasn't cheering for her. She gave me nothing to cheer for. I don't like these kind of things. And I know there are people out in the world, and I know people are like, ooh, Babz, everybody can't be like you. And God knows I don't want anybody to be like me, because God knows I've got buku problems and a history that I wouldn't wish on enemies, Russians even. So I'm not suggesting that. What I am saying, though, that there comes a moment in your life that you have got to turn the tides, and it's on you to turn the tides. There's no rescuing, and that's hard for people, because they think if they sit long enough, God will answer their prayers. But you know how God answers your prayers? When you get up off your ass and do something. That's how God answers your prayers. I know people, you think if you just sit by the dock of the bay wasting time, that something is going to happen. You know what's going to happen? You're wasting some time. And listen, I'm all for being contemplative and discerning. I spend my time discerning and being contemplative. My 2 favorite words, my 2 favorite actions. But How to Die Alone was not it for me. And it's canceled, which I'm glad, because I don't know how you redeem that foolishness. I thought it was going to be something totally different, and it's not. I was like, oh. And the further I got into it, the more I liked, the more and more I just hated it. I was like, why? I don't get it. We could get, who I like, the Michelle Blatau, the woman who did Survival of the Thickest. That's a fun show. She's funny. And I don't relate to any of her angst, but I like watching her move through the world. This show, How to Die Alone, I did not enjoy watching this woman move through this show. I'm not sure if I want to get into White Lotus. Seeing manipulative, angst-driven white people is just not my idea of a good time. But maybe I just want them to be, maybe it's a good thing if I could just keep them relegated to the screen and not in my real life. I don't know. I don't know if I could get into it. I have to go back and finish up Breaking Bad. That's another why. That show is so wild. I don't get it. But it's quirky. That's why I like it. Because it's like, all right, I'm a science teacher. I'm going to open a meth lab and I'm going to sell meth. Because I'm about to die in 9 months or whatever. I need to amass some money for my family. That's a great concept. I kind of dig it. I still have a little bit of a cough. I hope I don't have lung cancer or something. Although I was at the cardiologist the other day, he said my lungs are clear. So there's still all this mucus running through my body from this damn dairy allergy. And I'm telling you, I'm getting to the point where I don't want to eat a damn thing, which might not be a bad thing. And I feel a little tired. I think when I get off air today, I gotta have a financial aid conversation with the law school of choice, and so I have to see how that goes, and then I might take a nap. I've got some things. I have some real things I need to do around the house, so we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. So it's Monday. Mondays. I had a good conversation with my my access to law school fellow law student Ty Barker this morning. And it was lovely to talk to him. I was trying to talk to him last night, and he had a family emergency, so we had to cut our conversation short. So he texted me early this morning. He was like, I'm driving up to school, so if you want to talk, I'm around. Otherwise, we have to do it at noon. And I was like, okay. And I was up, so I was like, I might as well talk to him now. It was wonderful. It was nice to talk to him. I feel so much more hopeful about this process than I did when I started. So this makes me feel a little bit better. Truly makes me feel better. So I'm looking forward to having the conversation with the financial aid people today. But it was lovely to talk to Ty, and he gave me some good pearls, and I feel a bit more. It feels within my grasp to do this, So what I'm saying is the stars, the universe is working in my favor, always in my favor. So, S. Ife will be on shortly. At some point. I think she's coming on. I want to say she's coming on this month sometime or other. I think she's coming on. She's coming on Friday. So she got to talk about DiasporaCon. Let me make sure I have some money because I love the vendors. And I'm going to tell you something. Every time I go to DiasporaCon, I learn some new thing about this graphic novel universe that I did not know. I learn something every time. And it's fascinating to me. So, and I love the people that show up to cosplay. I would show up to cosplay if I knew what I was cosplaying for. See, I don't have a character. So maybe I should start with the character. I don't know. I have to talk to my daughter Margot is in the anime. I'm gonna ask her. If I had to be a character, what would you pick? And then maybe I'll dress up accordingly. I want somebody black though. I want to be a black something or other. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's what I like to do. So anyway, she'll be on Friday. The city, New Haven, is looking for a poet laureate. I should get somebody on to talk about that too. Maybe Ife could shed some light on that. The New Haven's looking for their second ever poet laureate, and they're looking for a youth poet laureate this time. First ever youth poet laureate, which is nice. I think every city and town should have a poet laureate. I'm telling you, it is such a stabilizing of civilization that I can't tell you how having a dedicated person who is in charge of bringing poetry around town is just wonderful. I just love that we have a poet laureate, and I love catching his performances. Shamat, I love catching him. So, and if you've not seen him, and I don't know how you could miss him because he is performing all over the place. He did a series of open mics at City Hall, which is a good use of that space. So Yeah. Yeah. So check social media. They've got flyers up for a new poet laureate. I think you have until June to submit or something or other. And it'll be lovely. It'll be lovely. I saw speaking of poet laureates, I saw Marilyn Nelson this weekend at Possible Future. And it was very nice to see her. Uh it's very nice to see her. So she looked well. So anyway, it was good to see her. I was happy to see her. And I think I have some of Ms. Nelson's books. Oh, I have so many things to do. I've got to get this money out the door. You know. Uh, what else? What else? um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Monday. It is Monday, Monday. It looks so good. Monday, Monday. Anyway, uh, I will tell you, uh, I am really unsettled by this measles outbreak. In Texas, there are over 500 cases, and a bunch of kids have already passed. You know, two or three kids, and uh, I as a parent do not understand. And I know people. Listen, I get that you stand on your beliefs, and I never want to knock down people's beliefs. But when your beliefs run contrary to your health and public safety, I think you really gotta be held accountable, or at least I don't think you get to impose those kinds of things on children who can't. You're charged with taking care of the most vulnerable among us, and that's children. And so when you fail to do that, that means some other entity has to step in and do it for you, right? And I'm not advocating taking children from parents. I'm not. But I just feel like the parents who are anti-vax, they themselves are vaxxed because their parents got them vaccinated, made the decision. But here come these parents who are anti-vax and are withholding, these vaccinations from their children. And now their children are paying the price for some ground that they're trying to stand on. Do you understand that when you do this kind of thing, you stand on your children's graves trying to make a point that does not need to be made? And you'd rather have a dead child than a vaccinated child who can be in population and not harm other children. That doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense. And I could not vaccinate. I would never. My first job as a parent is not to put them in harm's way. I don't get it. So these people are standing on this ground and their children are dying. And I'm thinking, why? Is this really how you want your life to go? That you sacrifice your kid because you are anti-vax and you think that somehow or other That's the right thing to do? For who? Because now you got a dead kid and you're vaccinated because your parents vaccinated you. And then we got this clown. And clowns, I hate clowns anyway, but rich clowns are the worst, the absolute worst. And RFK Jr. is a rich clown, and he's a Looney Tune, telling people to use, castor oil, all this stuff. You can experiment all you want. You know why? Because you're rich, and somebody could run your ass to the hospital, or you could have the best medical stuff brought to you. He is a heroin addict. Why he isn't dead? Because of money. Money. I think that job should always be a doctor. I don't care what nobody says. It should be a doctor in that role. I don't think, and listen, as smart as I am, I don't want that damn job. And I probably could do it because I lean into science. I'm not afraid of science. I'm not one of these people who just think science is the devil. I don't think that at all. I think science is a wonderful tool when used well, when used right, when used with ethics and morality and a sense of integrity. We can do these things. Oh, that just burns me up. I'm gonna tell you something else that is getting on my nerves. If I see one more person carry on about their vote and why and they feel duped, I don't understand that. So you wasn't duped the first time around? You didn't feel duped the first time? You feel duped now? Oh, I know why you feel duped. You feel duped because you lost your job. You didn't give a damn when other people was losing their jobs. You thought that this guy was just going to persecute and send away all the black and brown people. You didn't think you would be caught up in this as a collateral damage. You didn't think you was going to lose your job. You thought other people were going to get filtered out and taken away and all this other kind of stuff. Not you. And I'm telling you, time after time, I'm looking at these social media posts, people crying and carrying on. I lost my job. And I live in West Virginia. The fact that you live in West Virginia and you voted for Donald Trump, you ought to lose everything you own. Because that was a bitch ass stupid move right there. Number one. West Virginia, the people that work in the coal mines ain't never had no health insurance until the Affordable Care Act. And coal mining is old as hell. Hundreds of years old. And y'all ain't had no health insurance. You couldn't get health insurance for nothing. And then the Affordable Care Act came and you got health insurance, your family, your children, everybody got health insurance. And then you still voted against your own interests. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I tell you, I don't, you know what? I don't know what to make of it. Except to say racism is such a drug that you got a president who shares your hatred of the very people that you hate. And so you feel some alliance and a loyalty to that because of that kind of hate. Because I don't know how you look around and be like, damn, I don't have nothing. I want less. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you stand around talking about I have less, my children have less, and I need less. I need less. Oh, please give me less. Because that's essentially what you have done and what you are doing. And my heart breaks for these people. Not in a real way. Because I don't get the disconnect. I don't want to spend any time trying to figure out the disconnect. I know people are like, oh, we should get in there and figure out why these people feel the way they do. They feel the way they do because they're racist, and they think somebody else is getting something that they themselves should be getting, because they're working so hard. And it's just a made up rumor. Like, no one is getting. The only people who are getting more than what you are getting are people who are very, very rich. So your tax dollars is going to them. Rich people are not complaining, not one bit. They are not complaining one bit. But you, my friend, who can't make your mortgage payments, can't pay your electric bills and your grocery bills and your hospital, all the bills, you can't pay them. Rich people don't have that problem. They're not thinking about that. And a lot of that stuff they could just write off because they themselves are their own corporation. Stuff like that we could do, but we don't do. Wild. It's just wild to me that people vote out of their own interest. And I'm hearing this foolishness about, making it difficult for married women to vote. If they do that mess, every married woman in this country should just go get divorced. Just go get divorced. That's just foolishness. Anyway. All right, that's it. April is National Poetry Month, and I started the month off reading from the book of poetry's Wicked Enchantment, selected poems by Wanda Coleman, which is edited and introduced by Terrence Hayes, who is a poet in his own right. And I've fallen in love with this work. I bought this book a while back, maybe last year. And I've fallen in love with Wanda Coleman's words because it is so eloquent and ghetto and harsh and rough and tumble, but eloquent all at once. And so I'm going to read some of that, and then I might pick a couple from Reginald Dwayne Betts's new book, Doggerel Poems. So, I got all month. I'm here all month. Veal on Tuesdays. Listen. So I might read a couple of these, and this one is signed to me. Thank you, Dory Dumas. Dory Dumas got this for me, and I did get into law school, Dwayne. Thank you very much. There's a couple of things that I'm chasing, but law school is on my plate right now. Law school, fencing, something else. So, but anyway, this is from poetry from the book Wicked Enchantment. Gone but not forgotten. Gone, real gone, the good die gone. Strange and distant banging wakes me from reverie. My bed is cold. I am cold, but deep, long sleep is good for me. It's time for song when going gets gone. I hear voices sing and shout, hear bodies move anxiously about. I hear the diggings of an eager race for whom I've disappeared without a trace. Grieving of the gone goes on and on. And now they've rediscovered me, want to make use of me, overturn all my stones, make a science of my bones, my past once ignored in ignominy. They now wish a future built on me. There is no such thing as coming back. Such a strange sensation, the living at my grave, dying to get in. Do you see the eloquence of that? It's so elegant. It's so, but it's so harsh too, right? Like, it's just so beautiful and harsh at the same time. And that's why I like it. American Sonnet 15. Dear most important believer, on behalf of everyone, I'd like to thank you for your trust and loyalty to recognize you as among the sincerest of followers. I'm pleased to personally welcome you to the many privileges and benefits you'll enjoy, exclusive advantages unavailable to others, because you deserve special attention. I've enclosed your emblems of guaranteed earned recognition. Please take a moment to contemplate and admire them. We've gone to great lengths to exceed your every expectation. If you have any questions about a higher level, remember there is none. If you feel you need extra recognition, this is all there is, since it is special indication of your status. Thank you for showing us your best. And I know there's some sarcasm in that. I know it. American Sonnet number 16. After Huey P. Newton. The clairvoyant activist ever ready to face the consequences of his/her perceptions must subsist on stubborn hope, parenthesis D, period, Brutus, close parenthesis. For maintenance, aids dog determination to construct required change. Revolutionary homicide, suicide, means awareness of reality in combination with potential sociotrism. Those ill-equipped to struggle against brutal powers risk extinction. To cooperate in the imprisoning of one's own people's psyche is reactionary homicide, suicide, which will be rewarded by ever-watchful skins of oppressive belief systems. But to pretend to do so is to trick. Specific group resistance of rampant necromania may be manifest in periodic eruptions of spontaneous civil violence. It is imperative that visionaries see war as ultimate service for resolution. I don't know about you, but I dug it. American Sonnet number 18. After June Jordan. This is the place where all she lives. This is the place where all the lives are planted in my eyes. Black things writhe on the ground. Red things gush from volcanic gaseous tremblings, become blood and light, mountains of flesh raging toward rapturous seas, where crowns of trees inspired by flame extol the night. My abysmal here compels the moon, compels wave upon wave, compels reason. The tombs are fertile with sacred rememberings, the ancient rhymes, the disasters of couplings, the turbulent blaze of greed's agonies, shadows reaching for time and time, unraveling and undone. Sky, river, mother, your tongue plunders in my mouth. I just love this woman's work. I just love it. You know, American Sonnet number 24. I'm on uptime, have no resting place, cannot rest, constant strive, constant drive. Getting into bed is an act of creation. I'm putting on weight and hope with unequaled relish, trapped twixt the illusion of escape and the hallucination of release. I am the love wish of secret rapists, the men who break before they enter. They fight to maintain the myths I die by when under the gun. Who has time to keep a war journal? In the blues pocket of need, read, where sweet darkness begins, befogged in the snooze of mist, my legacy, the slave-soaked night, wailings of misbegotten dreamers, beseeching the dead to rise once more, that force hoodoo of humans consumed in the defiant flames of living. See, you see why I like her? I mean, you see why this is badass? It's just so, badass. So so anyway, if you I'm gonna be reading from her book all month, but I just wanted to get some poems in because the next hour I have a guest, and I'm delighted to have Ifama Wokoye on to talk about you know, wellness. But I want to talk a little bit about Doggerel by Reginald Dwayne Betts. You know, and Doggerel is a revelatory meditation on blackness, masculinity, and vulnerability from one of the poetry's boldest voices. And in the fold of the book, it reads, Reginald Dwayne Betts is our foremost chronicler of the ways prison shapes and transforms American life. In Doggerel, Betts examines this subject through a more prosaic but equally rich lens: dogs. He reminds us that as our lives are broken and put back together, the only witness often barks instead of talks. In these poems, which touch on companionship in its many forms, Betts seamlessly and skillfully deploys the pontoon, ghazal, and canzone in conversation with artists such as Freddie Gibbs and Lil Wayne. Simultaneously philosophical and playful, Doggerel is a meditation on family, falling in love, friendship, and those who accompany us on our walk through life, balancing political critique with personal experience. Betts once again shows us how poems can be enlisted to radically disrupt narrative, and in doing so, reveals the world anew. This was written by Dan Chison, the New Yorker. So Reginald Dwayne Betts is the author of 3 books of poetry, including the best-selling Felon. He is a poet, a lawyer, and the founder and CEO of Freedom Reads. He lives in New Haven, Connecticut, with his 2 sons. Okay. And then I've got a little piece of artwork from him. I might have to frame this, I guess. Handmade paper by Ruth Lingen, edition of 200. So I love, I have a thing for paper. So let me just see if I can get one poem before I go to break. Let me see. For Lori, for Can. All right. So I think I'm going to start with This Future, which is the very first poem in this book. Here's the book. Here it is. Was it lost to that red mower's spell, his future, a symbol, purpling bruise, not past foretell his future, things we carry, hiccups and regrets, lost receipts, the shrapnel of my mind, all death knell his future? Dear Father, how you forget what I remember. Your son's nightmares threaten to quell his future. And still, why not forgiveness or mercy? God asks. What makes him sacrifice his soul, motel his future? Everything they say is wrong about his suffering, earned or not. It probably ain't only Orwell, his future. His father alive, his mother been dead, and all them black stories, they won't tell his future. I never said most of the things I said, says the catcher. Yogi's namesake barks, no bounds to smell his future. My son, you don't know the thing round my neck. Dear Albatross, tell father a crack pipe bells his future. I'm afraid when I look to the right, my brother vanishes as if he never exists. No, exists less. this cell, his future. Everyone here is me, all of us chasing love or hope or the gospel or however this madman retells his future. His bruja, wild in a way, can confesses. Here is fertile, as in they go together. She and shy foretell this future. All right. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back with Ifama Wokoye. We'll be talking about health and wellness, good people. So come on back. I'll be back. Hi, this is Babz Rawls Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
My life